Hi everybody, it's Binge of the Body Whisperer here, coming to you from my new space. So just wanted to do a quick, like a 12-minute workout, and this has been inspired by my sister. She's got, we were talking about it when I was back home. So I've been kind of traveling around for the last 50 days or so, and I've kept up on my walking, haven't really been working out. And diet has been a bit like this, but in that way of I get to go home and have some home cooked food that I don't normally get, and you know, you're on the road, you kind of got to make concessions for what you can and can't do. So now I'm back in Singapore and I'm getting back into it. So one of the things that I'm looking at doing, since I've been off for close to like almost 2 months, okay? So I feel like I'm not in the worst that I've been, but I'm, you know, I can get back into it and feel better. One of the big things for me is my lower back and hips get tight. The muscles in my glutes, my hamstrings just get tight if I'm not consistently stretching. So that's just kind of that's the burden that, you know, I have. That's my thing. You know, everyone might have a different thing. Somebody might have a shoulder injury that keeps you in check, but also it's just a reminder to me that I got to kind of keep on it. It's not something that's gonna do itself, right? So one of the things I did talk to my sister about, and I did record a whole video before this, so I apologize if I sound like I'm repeating, because I recorded it and then it didn't take. So I'm trying round 2. So what I put together was, so my sister, step back, my sister has 2 children, 2 under the age of 2, a newborn so she's still breastfeeding her, and the 2-year-old is, you know, at that age, just up, down, and around, all over the place. But she's also the type of kid, she'll, you know, if she is in her room, she'll play. She'll, you know, she's a really, you know, like a fun kid. So she'll get, you know, she can stay focused. It's funny, when I was home, what I noticed was, with my nieces and nephews this go around, especially those 2-year-olds, or the ones who are close to 2 years old, they do have a tremendous focus. They're all over the place, but when they're doing something, man, they could just be doing that for a long time. So my sister and I were chatting, and some of the things that she was talking about is it's like, where do I start? What do I do? And I said, here's what you do. You can be in the room, and that's why I'm gonna do it right here. No equipment, just a yoga mat, and it don't even need the yoga mat. You could do it on a carpeted floor, a wood floor, whatever. I'm just chucking the yoga mat on the floor. So you can do it without weights, anything to start. Now maybe you'll progress to that, and that'll be great. Then you can kind of add that to your repertoire. But what I'm going to show you today is 12 minutes. So it's called it's based off of the Spartacus workout, but it's an interval workout. And I use a program called Gym Boss. Look up Gym Boss, and what you can do is or you can just follow along with me. Kind of go with what I'm doing, and then you really don't need the Gym Boss. You're just gonna, when I start, you start, when I stop, and I'll kind of say, okay, that's it, rest, do your thing, and then on to the next thing. So I've just picked 10 movements, and I'm picking 10 movements that are what I think, because I'm just starting back out, and I don't want to overdo it, and I'm a little bit sore, and I'm a little bit stiff, and that's one of the biggest things right now, is just I'm stiff. So it's like, how do I get those muscles moving without moving too quickly, injuring myself, and then being worse off than when I started, right? So that's a big thing. So I put together just a 10, and I usually use a whiteboard, or you can use a piece of paper. A lot of times I'll go into the gym or wherever I'm doing it, little piece of paper, just jot down what I want to work on that day for the 10 movements, start my interval timer, and away you go. Now in the interval timer, you can have a playlist, so I just listen to the same soundtrack. I'm pretty easy. And then I just do the 12 minutes. You can do multiples of it. You could do it 2 times, you could do it 3 times. 3 is what I would recommend you don't go past. That's what I used to do in the past when I was really into it. If you do it 3 times hard, you don't need to go past that. That's 42 minutes of fun right there. So we're just gonna do 12 minutes to start. So it's squats, stretch, left and right lunge, T push-up, squat, but this is a static squat, downward dog, high knee, twist, theraband, and I can show you a modification if you don't have a theraband, but I would recommend getting one. And then just you're stretching the hamstrings to finish. So I'm gonna put that so I can see it, and then I'm going to go to my timer, my Spartacus workout. I'm gonna hit start. So you hit start and then play. So I'm just gonna play this. I won't do music today, just so I can talk you through things and kind of like get you into the mentality. But again, this is just about getting started. It's not about doing anything crazy. It's just 12 minutes a day, saying to yourself, I'm gonna do it 12 minutes a day. Figure out a time when works for you. Is that the morning? Is that, figure out right before you shower, something in your day. Just make it, don't give yourself the thought. You gotta do it. So we're starting off, we're gonna start off with squats. What I like to do is go a little bit wider than hip width and maybe just a slight turnout. And then you just start. And one thing you can do is think about on the up is squeezing your butt cheeks, and you can squeeze your hamstrings, or not hamstrings, your quads. And since this is my second go round, I'm actually feeling this pretty good. So just take your time. And you don't have to go further down than like, I usually put my hands out just for balance, but you can go down to like 90 degrees. And if at 40 seconds you're like, man, I'm good, you can just kind of, but just stick around for the minute. It's about setting aside the time up here just as much as it is about starting to wake some of these muscles up. And we'll come to the end of that. I'm gonna just tilt this up because it's bothering me. So now, just at a stretch. So what I want to do is, because I know a lot of times lower back can get a bit tight. So what I want to do is just work on stretching those hamstrings. If you need to, you can bend the knees a little bit. Come down to the floor, paddle your feet. And start breathing into those hamstrings and into those glutes, into that lower back. Imagining the breath filling in. You can put your hands on your elbows and rock back and forth. Alright, and that's the end of that minute of stretching. So we just did squats and stretch. Now what we're going to do is lunge. Give it a few seconds here. Now we're going to begin. So you can just go down into a lunge without, so my knee, you can either go down into a position where your knee is just hovering and lean back. If that's too much, you can always go down, put the toe down, so my knee is on the ground, and I'm just leaning into this hip. And we're just at about 30 seconds there on that side, so we'll come up, and I'm just going to put this down so you can see on the other side. And so this is what I'm talking about. You can see is either having the knee above the ground in a lunge, and you're feeling it in this right hip flexor, reaching back, or dropping the knee and really leaning into it. Either way, that's the minute. Basically all I'm trying to do is starting to wake these places up. And then as you get into this, you can start to do more and more advanced things. 3, 2, 1. So now we're gonna do a T push-up. So with this, it's just straight push-up into a balance. You can hold this for 3 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever you want. Just try and do it evenly on each side. You don't have to hold it for long, it can be just that long. Just get up into the thing. Or if you want to take your time, what you're doing is stacking your feet, trying to stack your feet and reaching up with the hand that's in the air. And one more. Okay, coming out of that, take your time. So now what we're going to do is a squat. So feet wider than the hips, dropping down into a low squat. Hands can try and go into kind of a prayer hand between the knees, pushing out, relaxing those hip flexors, breathing into that if you can. If not, whatever, yours might look like this. Take your time. Yours might look like this. Take your time. You know, it's not about getting into the pose, right? And I think that's what a lot of people think. And I think that's what most, when you look at yoga or something like that, or Pilates, or anything in its basic form, if you're not competing, like ballet or something like that, but you're just doing yoga, it's about where you're at, trying to maintain, get a little better, but not get worse, right? Okay, that's it. Come out of that. If you want, you can go down into a child's pose. So that was squat. Now we're going to do downward dog, so coming up into a plank. Now what you want to think about is going up, putting your shoulders as far above your hands, like everything's stacked up, and then you can go down, up, and then, so this is the downward dog if you've never done it before. So you can paddle your feet out, just waking those up. Sometimes I like to come out of it, do a push up, come up, and then go back into it. That really warms the shoulders up. Okay, and that's it. Coming out of that. You can come out of that however you want. All right, I'm a little bit lightheaded, so I'm just gonna breathe for a second. I'm gonna bring this up because I'm gonna be doing. All right, so so now this is high knee. Just keep bringing your knees up higher than usual. What you can think about too is, if you want, with this, is tilting the bowl, the hip bowl, and then bringing, maybe for part of it, think about what it feels like to, if you cock your butt back, just see how much less room you have to move with those. So tilting forward. That's actually, we don't tend to do it, but the natural is having more of a tilted. Just kind of a natural neutral. So that's high knee to that stop. So now we're going to twist. So again, this isn't the hardest thing in the world. So with this, we're reaching down, reaching up, and then back. You don't have to go hard on this. Just reach up, out, down, back, and you can speed it up. Okay, then we'll finish off with just going back, just waking up those, basically you're waking up that spine, how it moves. So now the theraband, if you have one. If you don't, you can just, I'll start off with the theraband and just show you. It's, you're putting yourself into a, we're just waking up these muscles back here. Play around with it until you can find, so now I can feel those muscles are the ones that are working. So I'm going to just drop them and do it without it. Just thinking tension, relax, tension, relax, tension, relax. And that's tiring. Like I can feel it tiring out back there. And what I'm trying to do is wake up those muscles. Tension, relax. Tension, relax, tension. So, you know, I'm just taking a break. I feel like I've hit that point where I can feel that everything is warmed up. So now, we're on our last one. So what I was gonna do is just get down on the ground. Get down however you can. I'm going to lower this just to show you, just to kind of give you an idea. So what I thought about doing was just ending with some hamstring stuff. So you can just put your hamstrings, just be out in front and just feel a good, find a good stretch for you and hold it. And just breathe into it. So we're shooting for these hamstrings right here. I can feel mine are pretty tight. Sometimes what I like to do is take a ball of some sort and put them underneath there and then stretch down onto them. It's kind of, you're getting a little bit of, you're stretching and doing a little bit of like acupressure type work. So that's that. Take a second to kind of slowly work your way out. If for the next 2 minutes, now this is the, you have anything else, like if you wanted to do one thing you could do is just to change it up, count maybe a 30-second count, go to a tabletop. Let your head relax. And what you're thinking about doing is squeezing those glutes. Maybe doing a twist, spine twist. Breathe into that. For however long, you can do like 15, 20, 30 seconds. that's it. So that was my 12-minute workout. So at the end, what you can do is like do like the 12 minutes includes it's the 15 seconds off, 1 minute on for 10 rounds. Write it down. You can use this as your starting off example, and I'm going to try and do different things each day just to give you some ideas to start. And yeah, that's it. So keep moving, people. This has been about a 21 minute video. Hopefully when we get him, as I'm continuing to do this, and again, I'm going to do this as kind of thinking about my sister and having some chats with her, kind of things that we talked about, and hopefully this will, motivate me to do it. I want to do it every day for the next 30 days just to get back into it, and hopefully it'll motivate my sister to get back into it, to be accountable, and anyone else that's out there that wants to, feel free, pass it around. So guys, take care. Binge the Body Whisperer out. Keep moving, people.